With all the mixed up storylines, tragic romances, and unexpected plot twists, superhero stories are just different background music away from being your favorite Thursday night soap opera. Hi, I'm Juliana, and my favorite Spider-Man is actually our first topic of conversation for today. He's like me, the new kid on the block and one of those characters that no matter where this kid exists in any universe, he suffers. We're looking at Miles Morales. Has this kid suffered enough? No. I mean, in the first film, his uncle turned out to be a pretty big criminal and then died, but it gets worse, don't worry. Pretty shortly after discovering he was never even supposed to be a Spider-Man, that he's actually just a mistake in the timeline, Miles gets thrown into a parallel universe in which the Miles there is a villain that may or may not want to kill good Miles' dad, or maybe even him. Follow that? If you want answers, I do apologize, but this was kind of a plot twist that makes the audience suffer as much as the character. It's a cliffhanger that we have to wait until later this year to be resolved. That's the hero movie release I'm most excited for, but let us know in the comments which one you're looking forward to.
Speaking of villains, this next point is about a character whose origin was changed to make her just kinda that. Although, you know, she was a hero to start with, at least so we thought. Donna Troy is typically known to be the kid sister of Wonder Woman, often seen as her good friend and confidant. Someone whom Diana can trust, who either grew up with the Amazons since the beginning or who was adopted by them at a young age. This is why it was so surprising when it was revealed that she was created as part of a plot of Duran's to get revenge on her ex, Hippolyta, by having Donna become Hippolyta's heir instead of the intended Princess Diana, aka Wonder Woman. Yeah, Darano had it out for Hippolyta because, well, she lost her youth and then Hippolyta left her and she was just basically like, girl, why'd you leave me like that? Of course, this origin would once again later be changed for Donna, reverting Donna back to an infant from Man's World whom Diana saved from a burning building. Which honestly, I gotta say, I kinda like better, because otherwise, poor Donna.
Nick Fury's reveal in Captain America the Winter Soldier is one of my personal favorite MCU twists. Pretty earlier on in the film, we the audience find out that S.H.I.E.L.D., the main intelligence organization in the MCU, is corrupt. That's not the plot twist. That comes when the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Nick Fury, gets shot in Captain America's apartment. He is actually a good guy, he was just trying to warn Cap about the corruption. He succeeded, but at what cost? He was shot by the Winter Soldier and later died in surgery, or so we thought. Nick Fury is always 200 steps ahead and of course planned it all out. He used a substance that slowed his heart to 1 beat per minute so he could die and then hide away in a safe house until it was time for him to help save the day again.
This next character has also come back from the dead before, but we aren't talking about Death of Superman this time around, although that was also pretty surprising, I think, for people. Superman is an iconic hero in the comics, not just when it comes to his appearance, but also honestly when it comes to his power set. We all know what he looks like, and we know what his power set is, right? Well, we think we do anyway. There was a period in the comics where Superman had a completely different look. The look was so different and caught so many people off guard that it was honestly quite short-lived. Yep, we're talking about Superman Blue and of course, later Superman Red. This is when Superman got energy-based powers and we learned that he'd split into 2 different beings, with Superman Blue being more cerebral and Superman Red being more a man of action. And if you're wondering if I'm talking about the first time this happened in the classic comics, no, I'm talking about the 90s. As Superman's 60th anniversary was coming up, DC apparently wanted to do something different with the character, which is in part why we got this very drastic redesign for him. It was so polarizing that it lasted not even a full year, and the reasoning for the 2 Supermen rejoining was left kind of vague.
Nick Fury has a talent for making audiences' jaws drop. Just half a decade ago, he shocked MCU lovers after not being in Spider-Man Far From Home. Throughout the film, Nick Fury is a pretty important guy. He recruited Spider-Man to fight the Elementals, later revealed to be another MCU plot twist, and had a pretty iconic line about space. Q gasps when in a post-credit scene it was revealed that Fury was never actually on the scene. Turns out he wasn't even on Earth. Instead, he was up in space commanding a group of Skrulls. But he was still involved with Spidey telling the fake Skrull Fury down here what to do. This reveal was especially shocking because at this point fans didn't know how long Nick Fury wasn't really Nick Fury, or if Nick Fury was ever coming back down to Earth. Personally, after everything this man has been through, a bit of vacation time is deserved.
You know who else deserves a break? Batman. Batman very rarely gets close to getting his his happy ending in the comics. I assume this is because in comics we think that heroes can't be happy and still be interesting. I'm looking at you, Dan Didio. I don't necessarily think that that's true myself, but I will say there does always need to be an element of drama at play. In this case, however, Batman ended up with both. No happy ending and honestly a ton of drama. Bruce Wayne had met and fallen in love with prominent socialite and kind of world leader Jezebel Jet. For a while the two dated and it seemed like things were getting pretty serious, honestly. However, just when it looked like Bruce might actually pop the question or even reveal the truth that, he was Batman, Jezebel revealed her cards and we learned that she had been working in secret all along for the Black Glove and was plotting to basically help kill Batman. Of course, good luck getting the jump on the Dark Knight though. He revealed, much to also readers' surprise, at least to my surprise, that he had known about her true allegiances all along and her plans, and it was actually she who had been playing into his hand, apparently. Although if you knew all along, Bruce, why'd you even get with her? I don't understand. I guess, hey, the best way to beat a criminal is to date a criminal.
Now I won't leave you hanging over here. I did just briefly mention another Spider-Man plot twist, and that is the subject of the elementals. These were massive, extremely destructive monsters made of, you guessed it, natural elements. Think like if a tornado or volcanic eruption was sentient. Yeah, it was bad. These things destroyed part of Mexico and Europe, so they had all the makings to be a villain that our teenage Spider-Man might need some help defeating. Enter Mysterio. We all wanted him to be a good guy, but no, turns out the elementals were fake. They were illusions created by Mysterio using drones to project scary images and wreak havoc. This entire thing might have come as an extra shock to comic lovers because the elementals actually do exist in the comics, though their reign was long before Spider-Man's time. Still, it would have been perfectly reasonable for them to make an iconic comeback for the film. As for Mysterio's reasoning, well, former boss Tony Stark, Iron Man, you may have heard of him, called Mysterio's life work at Stark Industries a silly name, and from that point on, he decided to ruin Tony's legacy. At one point, he was just a regular scientist, though.
If you thought the reveal of Mysterio was wild, just wait till you hear about this next one. Batman stories are full of twists and turns, and some of them are better than others. Initially, I'd say I felt pretty mixed about this one, but in the end, it did bring me around. We're talking about the reveal that Damian Wayne was the son of Bruce and Talia. It was a shocking reveal, that's for sure, for readers and for, honestly, Batman himself, who was only made aware of Damian's existence after he was dropped on Bruce's doorstep by Talia. At that point as well, Damian was already a young child, so this was a secret Talia had been keeping from him for apparently years. There's also the whole issue of how exactly Damian was conceived, with Grant Morrison rewriting the no longer considered canon encounter and offspring the two had in Son of the Demon. Like I said, I like the Son of the Demon version of that story better, but yeah, I've come to accept Damian, so that's where I'm at.
We've had betrayals across the board today, but none had cut an audience quite as deep as when Captain America uttered the words, "Hail Hydra." If you were a Marvel fan on the internet in May of 2016, that was probably a big day for you. Making the rounds on social media was a single comic panel, Captain America saying, "Hail Hydra." Shocking, because one thing about Cap, he hates Hydra, would fight any member of Hydra, no questions asked kind of vibe. Plus, Hydra is a criminal organization, generally not liked. Fans were heartbroken and confused to say the least, many even vowing to ignore this comic set until it all blows over. To those who maybe couldn't stomach the read, don't worry, this Cap isn't the one we know. He was actually a Cap raised in an alternate timeline. He played the part of Captain America in the universe we are used to, but when our good Captain returned, he put an end to his terror.
This final point was a betrayal on my eyes. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are two heroes that we are used to seeing team up together. Initially in the comics, they're sister-brother twins that started off as villains, working alongside Magneto and his Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, after they found themselves indebted to the master villain. However, over time, they would learn the error of their ways and both end up as team members of the Avengers, working more in a heroic capacity together. Being siblings, they both obviously care deeply for one another, and in one reality, this sibling affection went even further than we're used to. If you know, then you know. And for those who don't know, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I'm talking about the Ultimates comic line and universe, or 1610, where the two of these heroes and siblings ended up together romantically as well. A twist that none of us were expecting and that none of us really asked for. But there it is. We got it anyways.
And that's all we wrote for today.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course leave your thoughts on today's video in the comments below. I'm Amanda, and this is our newest team member,
Juliana.
We'll see you next time, friends, and until then, stay nerdy.